Yeah. This is transfer deadline day edition of the Views from the Stand. And I've got my usual suspect and the ancestor, the author of this beautiful book that I'm holding in my hand, 1,000 times on the same road. Do you know how much energy it will take you to walk the same road 1,000 times? If you calculate how many times you trek to school, to and fro, from primary 1 to primary 6 or university, it might not be 1,000 times. But China Achiru, I've walked 1,000 times on the same road. On volume 2, the trekking, I've gone up to 2,000 times on the same road, but now he's not a vagabond. He trekked too much and they kicked him out of the house. He's not a vagabond. So we will talk about that. China, first off, let me leave every other person. How did you come about the title for the volume 2 of your book?
Book titles are always very difficult for me. I wrote the volume 2 without a title. I was done with it, and I argued with my editor for like a month. What's the title of this book? We couldn't get anything because I'd written the book already. Then I stumbled on the word vagabond. When I was younger in school, we thought it was a curse word. When they say you're a bloody vagabond, we can even start fighting. So I went to search that word, and it simply said it's a person that goes from place to place as though he has no home or a job. Yes, and I looked at my life between 2001 and say 2018. I was everywhere. I was in Katsina. I was in all parts of Africa. I was in Europe. I was in South America, just watching football matches. That's the life of a vagabond. Even though I had a job and I had a home, that was the life of a vagabond. So I just titled my second book, The Diary of a Vagabond.
Inside this book, you wrote that you people went to play a football match in South Africa. I'm paraphrasing.
Yep.
And you people went for massage. But the massage came with some extras. In your own word, tell us what came with the massage.
The sign at the hotel reception said facial and full body massage. And we actually thought it was facial and full body massage. When one of the boys in the group, that was after the game though, went for a massage, he found out it was full-blown sex.
No, wait.
And it was like,
the story is not like, it's not linking up with the book. When you guys went in there, one woman walked past and was wearing something. Let's start with that.
So wearing a see-through dress. She was Asian, wearing a see-through dress. And the coach of the team, Musa Abdullahi, felt she could distract the players. That was before the game. We saw another Asian man, and we just naturally said, okay, that would be our husband or our partner. I would say, please, can you caution your wife to dress better? Which he cautioned her, and she dressed better. But after the game, somebody went to him to like say, can I get a massage? He said, no, I don't do massage. He does the massage. And we all laughed because it was funny. And the next thing she said, do we do it in my room or in your room? And he was like, okay, in my room. That was the guy, not me. That was the guy. And the next thing, she grabbed, this is YouTube, right? This is not local
YouTube, so you can say anything, any word.
And the next thing, she grabbed the condom. And it was like, really? So when she went with him to his room, the word spread around the hotel in South Africa, Midrand, a small town called Midrand, that the Asian lady that does massage was actually doing something else. So a lot of the guys waited at the hotel lobby. So the first guy does his massage. She goes up, changes her clothes to a different color of gown. She takes the second guy and she massaged probably close to 20 people from that point until daybreak. Because everybody wanted a share of the massage. Everybody.
Did you get a share? Did you get a share?
We almost missed our flight because one of the major people on the trip was massaging while we were in the team bus about to head to the airport.
Did you massage?
Yeah. If I speak, I may be in trouble.
Okay, we already get the answer that we need.
We'll move on.
Let's move on. Today is the transfer deadline day, and there is stories all over the place. Okay, so some of the stories I want to make sense out of it. Mario, Al Ahly of Saudi Arabia have a deal in place for Victor Osimhen, a 4-year deal already agreed in principle with Napoli, 75 to 80 million, right? 75 guarantee and 5 million addition, with a salary of 25 to 30 million, 5 years deal or 4 years deal, as the case may be. All that is remaining is the signature of Osimhen to say, I approve this deal. Chelsea are also interested, but sources around the Chelsea camp says that Chelsea wants to first of all do away with Raheem Sterling and a few other players. And even if they do away with Raheem Sterling, there is the potential of getting Jadon Sancho. So there's a whole lot of complications that might make Osimhen miss the bus for Chelsea, because Chelsea don't know who they want. They want to buy everybody. Chelsea are like a poor man who just discover lottery winnings and go to a supermarket. They want to buy everything. But help us make sense on a deadline day like this. And if you are the manager, the agent, or the advisor of Victor Osimhen, what would you be telling him right now?
To be patient, I would say, because obviously it's a very, very conscious decision. I mean, if Victor Osimhen would go for the money, he would have probably already make up his mind and be very clear that he joined Al Ahly or joined the Saudi Pro League. So he hasn't, because he's hoping to move to the strongest league in the world, the Premier Leagues, and that's what he's waiting for. And obviously the ball is not in his hand. He have a safety harbor, yeah, with the Saudi Pro League, but it's not going to be a safety harbor, because there he needs to battle with Ivan Toney, and it's going to be a little bit of a psychology battle, because obviously that's what it's all about. Yeah, I mean, Victor Osimhen wants to leave Napoli. He will leave Napoli today. It's very clear. For me, it's just a decision whether he will take option B, Saudi Pro League, where he earns money, or he gets his preferred move to the Premier League.
Let me frame it this way. There is the Ivan Toney issue, and there is also talk. I spoke to someone in Saudi Arabia earlier, and the person says that yes, they cannot register the two of them the same time, but they can sign the two of them, meaning that they will not let one of the foreign players that they already have go, and then they register Victor Osimhen and Ivan Toney. So there's a possibility of that going through. That is the last resort position. I want to go to Bobby on this one. Bobby, Osimhen has been the major talking point of the transfer window from the beginning to this time. Do you think his agent, Roberto Calenda, have done a good job in positioning his player for the move? Or it is just a good strategy that we wait to the very last minute of the transfer window?
Based on Calendar, I don't think Calendar has done enough. If Calendar has actually, if he's on his onions, I think by now PSG should still be in the conversation, because PSG had already agreed personal terms with Osimhen long time ago, and PSG is his preferred destination. So what he would have done, he would have told Napoli to bring the price down, because the price was the issue, and adding an extra player to bring it down. I don't think he's really done enough. And even with Chelsea too, is he really doing enough? Has he sold the project well to Osimhen? I don't think he's actually a game changer, and he's not even a super agent, because I think this thing shouldn't have dragged all the way to this final day, because Chelsea made their first real offer, I would say last night or early this morning. So if they have been waiting this long, then he hasn't done enough. He hasn't done enough. And I believe that if Osimhen doesn't get his desired move, when I mean his desired move, even though Saudi Al Ahly has made their offer and everything, but he's not satisfied with it. Him not giving his green light means that is not his preferred option. And I believe if he's not able to get his preferred option, he's going to sack Calendar. Even though, as usually say that he likes people that he's comfortable with, but I think if he doesn't get his preferred move, he's going to sack that man. He's going to sack the agents.
Tana, you've been inside a football club for as long as I have lived on the face of this planet Earth. Al Ahly in contest have Roberto Firmino, Riyad Mahrez, quite a few, Frankie Casey, and a few other, Roger Ibanez. All of these players are the foreign players that they have. Gabriel Veiga also is there. Who's the player that is most likely going to leave? And I mean, what do you make of the Victor Osimhen transfer madness?
First things first, about the player that is going to leave, that will depend on the club and the coach. The coach knows who will fit into what he wants and will help him achieve whatever ambition he has. About the Victor Osimhen madness, like Mario said, he should be patient. Patient on transfer deadline day, 10 hours left. No, he can't be patient. We remember a case of Osazeo when he had to travel to another club's training ground, thinking the transfer had come through. I don't know how desperate Victor is, but with Napoli signing Lukaku, it means they have no place for him anymore. At this point, Victor Osimhen should be desperate. Is it Chelsea? Is it the Saudi League? Is it PSG? Listen, why would leave it this late? What were those issues that we may not know that kept it this late? Is it wage issue? Is it transfer fee issue? When you leave a transfer until deadline day, everyone becomes desperate. And that's where no footballer wants to be, really. Nobody wants to be in that position.
Some time ago,
But
when I interviewed our mutual friend, Brani Deye, he said what killed his move is transfer to West Bromwich Albion was the fact that he never had a preseason preparation with the team. By the time he came in, they fired the coach that wanted him, and then they brought in Tony Pulis, and the team was not doing well. He was the kind of player that needs the ball to his feet, needs to settle down and play. Tony Pulis wants to play route one. Everybody keep running. And it was a difficult situation to fill in. For me as a football player, I like to have a preseason with the team because, again, I understand my teammates. I could ask them, I'm a deliverer of the ball. Where do you want your ball? First pole, middle pole, last pole. In the air or on the ground? Cut back or cutting through the goal line? You know, those simple questions in training that we cannot, practice. And Osimhen is not going to have the chance to do all that. Chelsea are not as stable as we think. Yes, they may have beaten their opener Wolves 6-2, but we saw them against Servette. So it kind of like give you this picture that, okay, let's even play the devil's advocate. Hypothetically, Chelsea comes through. He goes into Chelsea first 5 or 6 games because after this deal, he might not play it for the weekend and then they go for international break. After international break, he comes back and then he's not playing well. The media in England will not be patient. The fans in England will not sing his name the way they did in Italy. So there is a lot. And, let's just squeeze in the insanity of his media rant. Up until that time, Osimhen was the darling of everybody. And when that happened, it divided opinion. Some people still love him, but rational people know that, okay, this boy has missed it here. All of this put together, Osimhen doesn't make the move, there's going to be a problem. Because like you said, Lukaku will be signed and he's not going to be a regular player. But if he makes the move, let's even play to his own trick. He makes the move to Chelsea and he flops. How is it going to be seen? China?
He wouldn't be the first flop. He wouldn't be the first flop if he flops. You just mentioned Brownie there. Big money signing by West Bromwich Albion. The fans had so much high hopes on him. And then they called him a flop because, yes, he didn't do well. He's not going to be the first flop. There are always the flops. But the thing is that what does that do to his career? Why for Osimhen is different? Osimhen is Nigeria's #1 striker. Whether he plays in England, he plays in France, he plays in Italy, he plays in Saudi Arabia, he will be called up to the national team.
True.
As long as he can do his business at the national team, he's going to keep getting called up. And that could also better his club career. But nobody wants to think about being a flop. Everybody believes that, as you say in local parlance, the ball will bounce well for him. Make the ball bounce well for him. Everybody believes that. So it's all about getting past today. Getting past is very important for him, getting past today. When he gets past today, he moves to the next stage of knowing who are my teammates? What does the coach want me to do? How do I train with them? But today is very important. I don't know when the deadline is in Saudi Arabia, but in most of Europe, it's about 10 hours left.
Second of September.
The deadline in Saudi Arabia is 3 days from now.
Yeah.
Okay, so he still has 3 days. So he's not in that position where it has to be done today.
But after today, he can't come to England anymore.
And PSG.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Except, of course, Chelsea and PSG are still in play. But if it's about Saudi Arabia, he still has 3 more days. But listen, when you're a young footballer, right, you want to play, right? But of course, the money they call it generational wealth. You're going to think about all of that. So right now, you don't want to be in Victor Osimhen's position because a lot of things are ringing in his mind.
Oh, but I want
That's why
to
he has his agent.
I want to be. I
Many
want to
people
be.
want to be.
I'll
Okay,
choose
good. But of
25,
course,
30 million. I was that.
you go to Saudi, right?
So I don't go since. I don't trek reach there. Israelite fit trek from Egypt to where did they go? I don't go fix.
So we just wait and see how it plays out. But first is to get past today or the next 2 days. Then is to meet his teammates, get to know what the coach wants. He's not going to play this weekend anyway. If he's going to Europe, to be this weekend because deadline has passed for midday today. But of course, there'll be games after the international break. But how does he get past the deadline? Then you can think about the next move going forward.
Habib, Manchester United, Liverpool weekend game. That's the gang game of the weekend. How is
Yeah.
it going to be? You're not blinded by the love that Bobby have for Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United. You're somewhat more objective than he is. So I'm going to go with you on this one. You've seen two sides of Man United, and Man United versus Liverpool, there's always this quote and unquote sign which Manchester United will come to the party, which Liverpool would also come. Is it the one that would beat them 6-0? Is it the one that would struggle? How would the game go from your own, prism?
Okay, first of all, this is going to be like an exciting derby between Manchester United and Liverpool. First of all, you have like two Dutch managers on opposite side, and you have Arne Slot for Liverpool, and you have Eric Ten Hag for Manchester United. So even if you go as far back as Netherlands, Arne Slot was always regarded as the darling of like the Dutch football because he plays like possession football and is very swift with his position and all. While Ten Hag was more like the opposite of like Arne Slot. So seeing those two face up in the Premier League, it's going to be a big encounter and a big match. First of all, I think I want to see what Bobby sees in Eric Ten Hag this weekend. He has this belief that Manchester United is going to turn up and do well. I have the opposite feeling. I don't think Manchester United is going to turn up and do well. And if Manchester United should lose this match, because you are going into the international break, it's going to spell like doom for Manchester United. You spend the next 2 weeks talking about crisis. You've played 3 games and everything is on fire. They've invested so much in the coach. They've signed so and so player. At Manchester United made the right decision. So Manchester United don't want to go into a situation before the international break in crisis, especially losing against Liverpool. So for Eric Ten Hag, is a must-win match for him. And the pressure is starting to mount on him. So it's like an opportunity to like prevent those pressure before he faces Liverpool. But to me, I don't think Eric Ten Hag has what it takes to like beat Liverpool. Liverpool don't need to do too much. I mentioned this last week. They don't need to do too much. They can be very clinical with their chances. 1 or 2 chances, they've scored goals, and they can even turn it into a riot by scoring 3 or 4 goals against Manchester United.
Edafe,
Bobby,
let me drop
yep.
one stat.
Okay.
So Manchester United, post Ferguson, have played Liverpool 11 times. That's 11 times. That's with the 2 Dutch managers, Van Gaal and Ten Hag. 11 times.
Yeah.
In that 11 times, they've had 6 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses. For Ten Hag alone, 5 games, 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, 2 draws. For Van Gaal, 6 games, 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Liverpool cannot beat United on Sunday.
But Bobby, let me drop this. That one defeat for Eric Ten Hag, it was a 7-0, right?
It's a 7-0, quite all right. But how many points did he lose? 3 points. Let's remove the goals.
That's the heaviest defeat in Manchester United history.
True, I agree.
And that should warrant a sack.
It doesn't warrant a sack because at the end, United finished above Liverpool. So how would it warrant a sack? United finished above Liverpool. Liverpool did not make the Champions League. Yeah.
Okay. Brothers are fighting here. Let's go to China. I mean, it doesn't seem like the other time you told us what is happening in 2 different 3 different Liverpool groups, sign players, don't sign players. You sign a goalkeeper, Mamadashvili, and you dash him back to the club that you sign him from. Maybe because there's dash in his name, Mamadashvili, so you dash Valencia. Now you sign an injury-prone Federico Chiesa, and it's not sounding like, Chiesa is a guy that will come and change the world. First off, he plays on the right predominantly, and that's Mo Salah's position. Even on the left-hand side, Liverpool are not really weak in that area. Would you say that Liverpool have done a good job by not signing quite a lot of players like in the midfield, in defense, and just banking on, okay, these two players that we've signed, they will come good for us? Or somewhere along the line, Liverpool are going to rule not signing the players that they were supposed to sign?
I said it before, Daffy, right? For the past 24 years of my life, I've played a game called Football Manager. And in that game, the most exciting time for me in that game is buying transfer season, buying players.
And you
And
still
like
not,
fans, we love
and
to
you
buy.
still not coached any team in real life for 25 years of
I
practice.
will, I will, I
That's
will
fair.
eventually.
Okay.
Fans want players, but sometimes coaches see differently. Maybe because they don't really need those players, or because they don't have the funding for those players. They see it differently. Now, I would have loved the DM, a number 6, as it's called in Europe. I would have loved the DM. I would have loved a centre back because Joel Matip left last season, not replaced. I would have loved those ones. But I'm here in Port Harcourt. Slot is there with the boys every day, working out with them. So I think he has a better idea what the team needs than me. Maybe he has challenges of funds. I wouldn't know that, but I think he has a better idea. Now for Chiesa, I almost want to call him Enrico because I knew his father.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only Chiesa I know. So I always want to call him Enrico. But for Federico Chiesa, right, it's more about squad depth. It's more about that. You don't want to get a player injured at some time in the season and start wondering who will play. Now, injury prone, yes, he had a big ACL injury 3 years ago. But his last season, he had about 34 league games last season.
Yep.
That did not sound like an injury prone player, at least for last season, current form. So I just hope that for ACL, you never can tell. I just hope that he won't try to be an actor who came from Juventus to Liverpool and just enjoyed the scenery and went back home after 1 year. I hope he won't be like that. But as a Liverpool fan, I'm hopeful that something good comes out of the season. Maybe in the next 9 hours, something comes out. Maybe, just maybe, because I'm a fan. But let the coaches decide and let the owners decide.
Mario, let me come to you. It's been long since we go into a summer transfer window and we're just hearing rumors about players wanting to leave Bayern. Bayern used to be the holy grail. Everybody wants to play for Bayern. Why not play for Bayern? I mean, after Bayern is Real Madrid or Barcelona or probably the Manchester United of old. But right now, you hear that Serge Gnabry wants to leave. You hear that Kingsley Coman wants to leave. Leroy Sané wants to leave. A few other players here and there wants to leave. But then at the same time, we hear that Vincent Kompany is a good communicator. He's taking the pressure off the team. What's really going on at Bayern Munich or Bayern München, as you guys like to call them?
Yeah, Bayern München. Yeah, I mean, it's a club in full transparency of media flow. So media makes up stories, media makes up activities. We have this new kind of business of transfer talk or transfer journalism. They drop in rumors left, right, and center. And I think obviously we then have to look into the agents around as well. The agents are dissatisfied that Serge Gnabry didn't play all the matches last season, that he wasn't a regular starter last season. And Bayern management and Bayern coaching style, they have a different kind of perspective and a different approach. I personally like Max Eberl and Stefan Freund, the new sporting director or responsible for the sporting area management team, and they need to clean up. And obviously they took a big risk with Vincent Kompany, a fairly inexperienced coach, but very, very established player. And I think the communication part is a key area. So far, from a rumor perspective, the only vacancy or the only kind of player in the outs will be Kingsley Coman, because obviously he plays usually only a third of all the possible matches because of his muscle injury challenges and his body structure. And Germany, as the Bundesliga, very physical, very demanding, it might not be the right league. So he's the only one I see leaving. Leon Goretzka this morning explained, even though Vincent Kompany told him you don't get many minutes, he want to sit out the last year of his contract. I mean, similar to Mats Hummels. You see this player power which is coming up is obviously a new shift. Yeah, players don't want to leave their last year and want to freely decide next year. Not only freely decide, because obviously when they sign for the new club, they get their salaries plus they get a signing fee that they sign for this club. So obviously everybody's eager to leave on a free and not have the transfer fee for the club, but have the signing fee for the player. So multiplying their salaries and their income, which I think is kind of really a tough negotiation model, and obviously goes into the image or adds to the negative image of being a player agent.
All right, let me still stay with you. We woke up on Tuesday or is it Wednesday morning, and like a thief in the night, the Nigerian Football Federation announced that we have a new coach for the Super Eagles. His name is Bruno Labbadia, and some people call him Agbada, whatever he is, but he's the former coach of Stuttgart. And just yesterday night or this early morning, again, like a thief in the night, we also heard again that they've not even agreed a deal with him. They are working very hard to agree that deal so that he can be around for the Uyo game next week, okay? Whatever it is. But give us a window into who Bruno Labbadia is.
Bruno Labbadia is a very established German football entity. Yeah, he started his career in the German Bundesliga in 1984 with Darmstadt 98. He's born in Darmstadt or near Darmstadt, so he's a very established player. He appeared 557 times in the German first division, scored more than 200 goals. And from his last club, Karlsruhe, he went straight into a coaching role at Darmstadt 98 again. And he's obviously coaching for the last 18 years. He's usually known in Germany as a fireman. Yeah, when the dressing room is not nice, when the sporting situation is in chaos and in turmoil, he comes in to please everything. He's not a developer for a long time, but he will unite the dressing room. He will hopefully unite the fans as well. And for me, is a good choice. The only thing I would put onto the record is his lack of international reputation and credibility, because for more than 30 years, he's been a player and a coach. That he has the experiences, that players look up at him. I strongly think so, strongly believe so, because he speaks player language. Wherever he came in, he had short-term success to stabilize the club's situation. That's the only kind of concern I would have is really, will he adapt to the African culture? But obviously he's been a born child to Italian immigrants, and he adopted to Germany very well. So why wouldn't he adapt to the Nigerian culture? I wish him all the best. I think it's a fine choice. And obviously the critics through social media, I noticed them as well. But of course, the Nigerians seem to be 120 million football coaches, and when there is an illness, there are 120 million doctors, and then there are 120 million others. So social media gives us the platform to negotiate things. We should give the man a choice. And like you said, when the NFF, I questioned on Channel Sports when I was on TV on Tuesday evening. I questioned on Channel Sports, why do you need to make an announcement as the NFF at 5:30 a.m. in the morning?
That's crazy.
What's the announcement? Yeah, so do you just want to announce it while everybody's asleep just to get calm? Because obviously that's for me a strategic lack of understanding how important communication has become. That's why it's called strategic communication. The NFF has a significant lack of understanding what communication means, because obviously communication means I put something out, and then social media means everybody will discuss it. And then obviously out of these multiple discussions, there will be a common sense. And so far, the common sense amongst all the football experts I've seen in Nigeria and wannabe football experts, they are very critical about the role. But on the other hand, from the last 20 coaches Nigeria has selected, I would be personally critical to about 15 of them.
That's nice. Okay, so let me come to you, China, as we wrap up. You've got 2 minutes to deal with this. The Nigerian League resumes tomorrow. There is a rumor on confirmed rumor that start times might pull out of the broadcast deal. We're not sure yet. There's a whole lot going on. There is no title sponsor yet. A couple of days ago, myself and Mario were discussing how to get official match ball and official jerseys for referees and all that. We'll be talking about a lot. Some clubs don't even have jersey to prosecute their league matches. If the whole matches were to play this weekend, I'll tell you for free that some clubs will not be able to honor their matches because they don't have jerseys. But let's get past that. Rangers, Academy Warriors, two teams that you've played against, you've watched, you've seen in your 1,000 times journeying on the road. You've met them, a couple of times. What are we to expect? 2 minutes.
It depends on how ready these clubs are. A lot of times, our clubs are not ready for the first match day, but Rangers have something going for them. I think in the last 20 years, they've not lost at home. They've not dropped points at home to El Kanemi. That's something, if history is anything, they've not dropped points at home to El Kanemi in the last 20 years. And the last 9 games, they've not conceded against El Kanemi Warriors. That's something good for them. And they want to toe the line of the last 2 champions, Eyimba and Rivers United, who won their opening day fixtures. They want to do that. And maybe even add one more for themselves, by being the first club to win back-to-back titles. The last time that happened in Nigeria was Kano Pillars, about 10 years ago. So, but the cathedral is the spiritual home of Rangers. The fans turn out in their numbers. It's like a holy place if you go to watch a game there. I expect it as big as a game can be. But how ready are these two teams? Just how ready are they? That we can't know once we see the game tomorrow on start times or for those that will go to the stadium.
Definitely, I'm not sure it's going to be on start times, but let me say this, just for the road. In your over 20 years of being part of the management of a football club, have you ever had a situation whereby on match day, you guys do not have a jersey to wear?
Not at Dolphins FC. No, we have not. We always prepare ourselves.
When you say not at Dolphin, does it mean that there is a place where it has happened and you don't want to talk about it?
Not that I know of. I wouldn't know that if you know, maybe when you are playing at Sharks, you guys didn't have jerseys. I wouldn't know.
Thunder go fire you. Thunder go fire you. Thunder go fire you. Dauda Musa, Lieutenant Colonel Dauda Musa Como was the governor of Rivers State at the time I was playing for Sharks. How can we not have jerseys? What is wrong with you? He's the cousin to Sani Abacha.
I don't know.
That and you disappear.
I don't know. I don't know.
Why would you not
I'm
know?
just saying.
Why would you not know? Thunder will fire you for saying that thing. Well, as I go, Bobby, what is your prediction for Sunday's game?
For the game, I can't say a specific scoreline. All I can say is that it will be a very good name, very competitive game, for it to be an impressive win for United.
Tottenham Hotspur going away to Newcastle. What's it gonna be like?
Tottenham away to Newcastle. Newcastle St. James Park is never a good hunting ground for Tottenham. I see. Okay. It looks likely to be a draw.
Crystal Palace away to Chelsea.
Crystal Palace away to Chelsea. Crystal Palace away to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Either a draw for Chelsea or a win for Crystal Palace. I don't think Chelsea is going to win.
Mario, help us in 1 minute. We don't have time. 1 minute, wrap up the German Bundesliga. On Sunday, we know that Bayern will be playing against Freiburg, but wrap up in a minute, please. 60 seconds.
Not a problem at all. Yeah, so the second match day starts tonight with Union Berlin versus St. Pauli. Union a draw, St. Pauli a home defeat to Heidenheim. Both teams already under pressure because of a newly promoted St. Pauli doesn't want to be in the bottom 3 right away. Union Berlin, obviously from Champions League, almost into relegation battle last season, so they are under pressure to perform. The game for me standing out is tomorrow night, Bayer 04 Leverkusen versus RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig being very late kind of in the transfer window as well, with Simakan going to Saudi Arabia. Gedruida, a very, very well established Dutch player, will join RB Leipzig, and there might be 1 or 2 more additions. But these two, they stand for fantastic football. Both won their opening game, and will the Bayer Leverkusen season continue? And then something to watch is obviously Bayern Freiburg, which I think will be a home win, and Werder Bremen versus Borussia Dortmund, which I believe will be a Dortmund win.
All right, thank you very much, everybody, for joining in today. Let's do this again on Monday. By that time, we know where Osimhen is going, whether he's staying in Napoli, in Saudi Arabia, whether it will become Habibi, or it will be here.
Breaking, Tony is undergoing his medical as we speak with Al Ain.
Oh Lord, the Osimhen journey